Hello, my name is Shim Sangkyun and my topic for e-commerce is OpenTable. And the content is about firstly the definition of OpenTable, what the OpenTable is, and how OpenTable works, how OpenTable makes revenue, OpenTable's market strategy, and the facing challenges and how did OpenTable overcame it, and lastly unexpected pandemic and what difficulties did they go through and how did they overcome. And now I will introduce what the OpenTable is and what the definition about OpenTable is. OpenTable is the leading supplier of reservation, table management, and guest management software for restaurants. In addition, also known as the world's most popular platform for making restaurants reservation online. For more details, it was founded in 1988 by Chuck Templeton and research in 2019. Nearly 60,000 restaurants around the world and 30,000 diners are using OpenTable for their dining. And next slide is about how OpenTable works. Firstly, restaurants purchase monthly subscription to the OpenTable electronic reservation book, as known as ERB. And ERB software provides a real-time map of the restaurant floor and enables the restaurants to retain the meal patterns of all parties, serving as a customer relationship management and as known as CRM for restaurants. Software is upgraded periodically by OpenTable, and Guest Center is a cloud-based version of ERB that runs on iOS and Android mobile devices and app, which means both Android and iOS can download the OpenTable and use for their dining reservation. And this is my simple summary slide about how OpenTable works. And if I explain just briefly, when restaurants pay the monthly subscription to OpenTable, OpenTable provides and service and shows the restaurant's conditions on their website so that the customers can reserve and use the website for reserving their dinings. And the next is about how OpenTable makes revenues. OpenTable's revenue comes primarily from subscription. Restaurants used to pay a one-time fee for on-site installation and training, but OpenTable has eliminated these fees to respond to competitors offering cheaper products. However, OpenTable's main subscription model is $294 monthly charge for the use of its software and hardware, in addition to a $1 transaction fee for each restaurant guest seated through online reservations. There is also basic version of its software which costs nothing in a month, but the transaction fee increases up to $2.5 per guest. The online reservation service is free to all diners. And this is the simple summary, key point that I made from the revenue part. And if I just read briefly about my summary, the revenue comes primarily from subscriptions. And main model, the cost is $249 and $1 transaction fee for each guest. But the basic model, nothing per month to cost but $2.5 transaction fee for each guest. And lastly, the online reservations are free to all the diners. In next slide, I will present about OpenTable's market strategy. When OpenTable was founded, most of the restaurants did not have the computers and let-alone systems that would allow online reservations made through a central website. OpenTable's initial strategy was to pay online restaurant reviewers for links to its website sent to target national chains in order to quickly expand its reach. The company also retooled its hardware and software to create user-friendly, ERB system and deployed a door-to-door sales force to solicit subscriptions from high-end restaurants. The combination of e-commerce, user-friendly technology, and the personal touch worked really well. And these are the reasons why OpenTable could dominate the market. And for the key point, user-friendly, keep updates their software and hardwares for more convenience is the key point of this slide. And next slide is about OpenTable faces challenge. However, after years of dominating the market for online reservation and guest management software, the company has ceded some ground to newer challengers. In late 2016, Booking Holdings reduced the value of OpenTable on its books by $941 million after increased investment in its international offerings failed to produce increased profits. And restaurants have complained about OpenTable's pricing. Some restaurants also have concerns about the fact that OpenTable inserts itself in the middle of the relationship with the customer, capturing valuable marketing data. In this slide, the key point is after Booking Holdings, which is the mother company of OpenTable, reduced its value, and OpenTable also increased the fee and got lots of complaints from restaurants, which lead to the decrease of the percentage in market share. And I will keep explaining about OpenTable faces challenge. A number of competitors have sprung up that hope to take advantage of these issues. Razy, a reservation startup that has won over some high-end restaurants, allows restaurants to ask for a credit card to reserve, which helps to reduce the number of no-shows. And Razy now works with over 4,000 restaurants in more than 200 cities around the world, serves more than 2 million diners per month, and was acquired by American Express in 2019 because of cheaper price. Also, many partnerships was being cancelled, like Yelp, TripAdvisor, The Folk, and the Michelin Guide. And the key point of this slide is, while OpenTable was struggling with the fee between restaurant and the OpenTable, the competitors started to take those advantage which OpenTable is struggling, and also many partnerships have been cancelled due to its effect. And in next slide, I will explain about how did OpenTable overcame the pressures. Perhaps feeling the pressure from its growing list of competitors, OpenTable has focused on improving its user experience across all of its platforms. In 2018, OpenTable released a new version of Guest Center with a full set of analytics to help restaurant owners improve efficiency, and in 2019, it partnered with Observe, a restaurant management software provider, to leverage OpenTable's point of sale system and enable servers to have diner information and preferences in real time to help personalized service during meals. Not only enhancing the apps, but also partner with many delivery apps such as Grab, Uber Eats for more various services. And key point in this slide is to overcome the pressures that OpenTable have been went through. They kept enhanced the app for personalizing and more conveniencing for the users, and also they offered new services such as delivery system. However, when the pandemic came through all over the world, OpenTable couldn't avoid this pandemic too. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a huge additional challenge for the restaurant industry and OpenTable all around the world. OpenTable estimates that 25% of the restaurants in the US will not survive. OpenTable has attempted to adjust in response, adding the ability to reserve time at grocery stores as well as reserve times at bars, wineries, and of other drinking establishments. It also cut prices through 2020. As restaurants began to reopen, it also added a feature to its app to allow diners to see what safety precautions the restaurant is following. As the economy slowly reopens, restaurant bookings are starting to trend upwards. Booking Holdings still believes in its long-term strategy of linking the OpenTable platform with the customer base of the Booking Holding family of travel sites, ultimately creating a single ecosystem for Booking Holding customers.